Coach, it's been a very strange first half of your season, so to speak. You start 4-1, winning 4 of those first 5 games, and then you lose 4 in a row. But in between, a lot of things happened, including the weather, didn't it?
Yeah, right. It's hard once you start getting on a roll there, and all of a sudden you got to kind of break it up. But everybody's kind of going through the same thing. Unfortunately, last time we were supposed to play Freeport, we were really ready. We had 2 days of practice for them, then all of a sudden it gets canceled. So then you got to focus on another team. So that's been hard adjusting. I think after Christmas we went 12 days before playing Valley, and I was really proud of the way the kids stepped up there on the road. We played our best game of the season. So you never know. Different kids respond in different ways. So we're hopefully and now tonight we just played last night, so we got a game tonight, another game in a couple of days. So you don't know how the kids are going to respond, but at the same time, you want to make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's ready to go, and the kids are focused and they're ready for the game tonight. So we'll see.
Before we talk about more of the season to date, let's talk about your team since it's our first broadcast. Talk about some of the leaders of this team, and you finally have some good options, Damon. You have some depth on this team.
Yeah, for the first time in a while. We all know the struggles we've been through in the past with injuries or whatever, but this year, I think I've had already. I want to say 9 different kids start this year, and that's not. And I don't start anybody that doesn't deserve it. We have 9 different kids that can play, and I think I play probably 9-10 kids every game. Because each kid gives us something different. This year we have good ball handlers and a leader in Connor and Aiden and Justin. And we have good bigs inside with Anthony and Johnny. Then we have our swingmen with Tanner and Will and Chucky and if one kid goes down, it's not a big deal this year like in the past. In most high school teams, you lose a player, you're in trouble. This year we feel that it's like the next man up kind of mentality, and it's nice having that. And at the same time, you got to keep the guys on the bench into it because each game is different. I told them last night, we played a lot of kids in different situations. I told them tonight it's a pressing team. We're not subbing a lot tonight because you want to keep the kids in a rhythm. So, and the kids really understand that, and you can tell in practice that every kid's motivated and every kid's pumped up. So it's nice having a different group of players to go to.
So you have the best of both worlds. You get off to a good start, and you struggle as of late. Tough one last night against Indiana. What does this team have to do on a game-by-game basis, Damon, to be successful? What's the plan? What's the scheme? What do you expect from them? And have you changed your philosophy at all? This is your eighth year with this group of kids because you knew you had a good group coming up.
Yeah, you want to just be able to execute better. I think last year, we had a new offense and some new different defenses put in. This year, we're all on the same page right from the start. Offensively, we didn't add too much. We just want the kids getting better, executing what we want them. Defensively, we added some things as far as with our athleticism to get after teams a little more, and we just want to play faster. We don't, even though we're a gap defensive team, we want to cause a little bit of chaos out there, get turnovers, get up and down the floor. Offensively, we want to spread the ball around, and we want to get to play an inside-outside game. Because we have Johnny Kerr this year and Anthony inside. We haven't had that kind of size inside in a while to where you have a dominant big man on most nights that can finish at the hoop. And we also have nice perimeter players. So, we don't change a whole lot. We just got to get better at what we want to do. And tonight's the same way. We want to come out there and we want to get the ball in our best players' hands. And in playing at home, you got to be able to shoot the basketball. We had a decent game plan last night, but, we missed about 23s. And that's not going to cut it on the road if you're going to play a good team. So, we don't change a whole lot. I think it's best to let the kids, keep it simple and let the kids play fast. At the same time, take advantages of what you see in your opponent and your scouting to let the kids all on the same page so they can have to think when they're out there.
Before we talk about your opponent tonight, Freeport, let's discuss the section a little bit. You have Indiana, who you played last night. Valley, you played tough on the road. Freeport tonight, you haven't played Deer Lakes yet. That was postponed. You'll play that game later this week. And then below you have Mount Pleasant and York. And I guess when you look at it, those two teams are really kind of in disarray this year, struggling, and you really can't count on them beating anybody other than themselves, I guess. So, right. That kind of just leaves, there's 4 spots to get to a postseason, and that kind of puts, that clump there that I just mentioned, at the outset together.
Yeah, we don't want to take anything for granted, but if things play out as they have the first half, York and Mount Pleasant are kind of rebuilding. And then Indiana's undefeated right now. So if you kind of take that out of the mix, you're talking, you're talking a good Freeport team, a very good Valley team who people think might be the best team in the section, right now with the kids they have coming back. You're talking a Deer Lakes team who was there last year in the playoffs, and then us. So it's about 4 teams chasing 3 spots if it plays out as it is. So every one of these games are so important. That's why we were so excited about the game at Valley. We had the lead against one of the best teams in the section with a couple minutes left on the road, and unfortunately we didn't pull it out. But I think that game gave us confidence to that we know that we can play with anybody if we play the right way. Last night, it didn't go our way, but we caused 23 turnovers and only turned the ball over 8 times against a good team. So we know we're doing some good things. You really got to try to get over the hump here pretty soon, because it's going to come down to crunch time. Every game is so important.
You've been doing this for a while. How hard is it to get the mentality back? I guess you have to, because it's back to section play, but you have a lot coming up here. You lose last night, even though, as you mentioned, a lot of mistakes made or the score wouldn't have been what it was. But to get them back and focused for tonight's game, because they're all so important and you're at home.
Yeah, you just got to rely on your leadership, and you got to rely on your practice from the previous couple weeks or whatever. You got to get the kids experienced and understand what's going to happen. I'm not a big fan of playing back-to-back games, or I'm not a big fan of playing non-section teams that you don't know much about. It seems like every time we have a day to prepare for somebody, we're really good. In the games that we don't, we think a little too much. But this team, we have a good idea what they're going to do, because like I said, we practiced for them last week, and you want the kids to play fast out there, not think. So I think you kind of, it's one of those games you kind of do. You have a quick pregame talk. You get them thinking about focusing on us and what we need to do, and let them worry about our game. So that's what we're doing tonight. These back-to-back games is more about what we can do, especially at home. We're not going to make any excuses, because everybody's in the same boat. So we're just looking to go out there and play fast tonight.
Finally, D, talk about the Yellow Jackets. They're on the 5-game winning streak, beat Deer Lakes and come from behind fashion last night. Big start to their fourth quarter, went on a 16-0 run. What can you tell us about them and what you're going to expect from them tonight?
Yeah, they got an experienced group coming back. They got their 2 best players coming back, and they were a playoff team last year. They got Benny Beal, who's the coach's son, one of the best scoring guards in our section. So we got to shut him down. They're a guard-oriented team. They got about 5 guards that are all the same height, and they're pretty interchangeable. So we're going to try and cause them matchup problems for us for a change. I think we can use our height advantage tonight. But they're a very smart team. I think they're the most well-coached team in our section. They're going to come out and press and trap and do some different things and try and use their speed. So, like I said, we got to worry about us. We got to make sure we limit Beal's shots, and we got to hit the boards. We're the bigger team, so we got to make sure that we limit their chances to 1 shot. And offensively, we got to play with confidence, move the basketball. Don't get selfish and attack the hoop when we can, and we'll see what happens.
You answered my final question, keys to the game. You already answered it, folks. 8th-year head coach Damon Rause. Damon, thank you so much. We'll be covering some more games as the year progresses. Good luck tonight against Freeport.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy.